So in module number 5 we are going to study what are lasers. So till now we have covered what is the laser light and what are the differences between laser light and normal light. So there were main 4 differences: monochromaticity, directionality, coherence and intensity. So a laser light usually looks like this: parallel beams of light concentrated in small area forming a spot on a screen. So what is laser? Laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So in forward we want to know how to produce laser light, and the answer is by stimulated emission. But before going into the answer, we have to understand about 4 words in very detail. First is absorption, second is emission, third is stimulated, and fourth is spontaneous. So first we will understand the usual meaning of these words and the physics behind them. Then we will interrelate them, and finally what our aim is to understand what is this stimulated emission and how stimulated emission is leading to laser light. So absorption, first we will talk about absorption. So we have 2 energy levels. So energy level E1 and energy level E2, and there is an atom or an electron in energy level E1. So as it is clear from diagram, E2 is greater than E1, which means this is ground state and this is excited state. So absorption is the process in which the electron takes up energy from external sources and jumps to higher excited states. Absorption is a phenomena in which an electron takes up or gains energy from external source and jumps to higher excited states. And the energy that the electron has gained, this h mu, is exactly equals to E2 minus E1 by conservation of energy. So in absorption, always a body is going from ground state to excited state after absorbing some energy, after gaining some energy. This process is called absorption. So in short, in absorption, electron is always going from ground to excited state or 1 to second state, given that second state, the energy of second state is greater than energy of first state. So in short, absorption is this. Now similarly, emission. So we have same energy levels E1 and E2, but this time the atom is in excited state or electron is in excited state. Now electron will, when jump from E2 to E1, electron when jump from E2 to E1 will have energy lesser than E2, and the residual energy will emit out in the form of radiation. The residual energy or the extra energy, the energy which is equals to E2 minus E1, will be emitted out by the electron in the form of radiation, which will be equals to h mu. So this is also by conservation of energy. So in emission we can say that electron is going from excited state to ground state or 2 state to 1 state, and in this process, in absorption, energy, external energy is added to the system, and in emission, external energy energy is emitted out from the system. Now coming to the words spontaneous. So spontaneous means something which happens by itself, something which is natural or happens by itself, like falling of water from a height, waterfalls, or what other processes are spontaneous? Some chemical reactions are spontaneous in nature. Earth is revolving, it is also spontaneous. So spontaneous is a process which is happening by itself. There are no requirement of any external agency or any external machine to facilitate the process. So spontaneous process is a natural process happening by itself, and there is no need of external machinery to complete the process. Now the word stimulated. The word stimulated means something which is controlled or something which is happening by applying external agencies for a desired result. Something which is happening by applying external agency for desired results. So since we have 4 words now: absorption, emission, stimulated and spontaneous. So if we take by permutation and combination, 4 processes will come forward. Stimulated absorption, spontaneous absorption, stimulated emission, and spontaneous emission. And we have to study, the main focus will be on this process, because this process is leading to laser light. This process will always lead to normal light, and this process is leading to laser light. So we have to understand these 4 processes in detail. First we will try to understand the concept qualitatively, then we will quantify it. So first let's talk about stimulated absorption. The first process is stimulated absorption. So absorption means the electron is going from ground state to excited state, or 1 state to 2 state, after gaining hν energy, and this hν energy is exactly equals to E2 minus E1. Now this stimulated means that we have some external machinery applied. So let's do the process. So electron is in 1 state, ground state and excited state. So electron has to jump from 1 to 2 for absorption. What is the electron? What is the source of electron? That is this. What is the source of energy that this electron is absorbing? It is absorbing photons having energy. It is absorbing photons having energy exactly equals to this energy difference, and these photons are provided by some external machinery. The source of photon is a external machinery. So this process is absorption, and since we need an external agency or external machinery for absorption, this process is stimulated absorption. The word stimulated here stands for this external machinery which is providing photons, and absorption means that electron is traveling from one state to second state or ground state to excited state. Now talking about second process, which is spontaneous absorption. So absorption again means the electron is in one state and it has to jump in second state. The first state is ground state and the second state is excited state. But this time this process is spontaneous, so we have to make sure that the process is happening naturally. We are forbidden to apply some external machinery because the process is spontaneous. Now you tell me, without an external agency, without an external source of photon, can absorption happen? Without an external source of photons, can absorption happen? Can electron jump to two states without gaining any energy which is provided by external source? So this process is not feasible by conservation of energy. This process is not feasible by conservation of energy, because in order to have absorption, we have to feed photons which have energy exactly equals to E2 minus E1. Since we need to apply a source of electron, so since we need to provide a source of electron, that source of photons, that means we are providing some external agency. Now since we are providing external agency, that means the process is no more spontaneous. So spontaneous absorption, that is without providing external source of photons, no absorption can take place. So this process is forbidden by conservation of energy. Now third is spontaneous emission. So suppose an atom has many energy levels. An electron is in this state or this state. And if since it's emission, so electron will jump from higher energy levels to lower energy levels. So suppose we are talking about this electron. So this electron jumps to E1 and it will emit out a photon such that the energy of this photon will be E2 minus E1. Okay, so this electron can also undergo the process of emission. It can either jump to this energy level producing a photon, or it can directly jump to this energy level producing a photon, or it can either come to this level and then again come to this level. So what are we seeing? That we are seeing that in spontaneous emission, the emission which is happening all by itself without any external help is emitting out radiation which is made up of many wavelengths. So the spontaneous emission, first of all, it is natural. We have not applied any external agency or machinery. Second, the light produced is not monochromatic, since it has several lambdas. Because atoms from all higher energy level can jump to lower energy levels, the process is not controlled externally, so any emission process is equally probable. The many wavelengths can be observed, and the electrons emitted out are not having same wavelength, so they are not monochromatic, the photons emitted out. Secondly, the photons emitted out will be can be emitted out in all directions. So the light produced in this case will be not directional, it will be divergent, just like a bulb. Like a bulb produces light in all 4 pi angle. So the light produced is first of all not monochromatic. Second, the light can be emitted out, the photons can be emitted out in any direction. There is no specific direction, therefore the light which will be produced is divergent in nature. So spontaneous emission is leading to normal light, and we have not seen any external agency. The process is natural, 100% natural. Now talking about stimulated emission, fourth process. So talking about stimulated emission, so again we have many energy levels just like in spontaneous emission, because the atom is same that we are considering. E1, E2, E3, E4, and similarly electrons are in all 3 high energy levels. The process emission, it means that the electron will jump from higher energy level to lower energy level. It can either jump from 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 4 to 2, 2, 3 to 1, and many more. But the process is stimulated as well. With emission, the process is stimulated as well, which means we have applied some external machinery here. The external machine that we have applied is again a source of photon. We have applied a source of photon having energy h mu, and this h mu is tuned. Tuned, how it is tuned? It is tuned by picking any two energy levels. So either I will pick E2 and E1 or E3 and E1, just like that. So we have picked two energy levels and taken their energy difference, and the equitable energy is provided in the form of photons. So let us say we have picked these two energy levels, E2 and E1. So h mu source of light such that it is equals to this is provided externally by a machinery. So the process is stimulated because we have applied a external source of photon. We have applied an agency which is emitting out a source of photon, and this source of photon have energy. Which energy? We have chosen specifically two energy levels. Why we have chosen these two energy levels? Because the energy which we want, the light which we want by this energy difference, the wavelength which we want will come out by these two energy levels. That's how we have chosen them. Now what will happen? Since we are providing this h mu light from this side, the electrons in E2 will only jump, and the electron in E3 and E4 will not jump, will not participate in stimulated emission. They can participate in spontaneous emission, but they will not participate in stimulated emission. Now due to which the number of emissions that are the number of emissions that are taking place due to between E2 and E1 are multiplied by providing a little feedback. So if we are providing one photon, we are getting two photons. So let's draw a simpler diagram. So electron was in this one. So we have provided h mu photon by some external agency. Now due to this h mu photon, the electron in E2 only will participate in stimulated emission, and they will come down to lower energy level and produce a photon of themselves, and the photon which was provided as a feedback will be returned back. So for every one feedback we are getting two photons of light. Now what is the special thing about these light is that by providing a little fraction of feedback, all the emissions will produce only h mu energy, only h mu photons, making the light monochromatic. Now secondly, we have applied this external agency in such a way that a particular direction is maintained by the feedback photons, and the emitted electrons will also copy this direction. So therefore the photons produced will also be in the direction of the feedback, and therefore the photons produced will be also be in the direction of feedback, and they will be parallel to each other. Hence with monochromaticity, coherency and directionality are also obtained. Now the last thing is intensity. So if light beams are concentrated in a small area, obviously their intensity will be high. So now I think you can understand by that how stimulated emission is producing light which are having properties like lasers, or we can say that how stimulated light is producing laser light. So again, let us repeat the definition of laser word by seeing this process. Stimulated emission of radiation. This was a radiation. This process is stimulated emission. Then light is produced. उस light को अगर हम, then this light is amplified, and this light is called laser light. So stimulated emission of radiation and the light produced is amplified to produce laser light. So this is the definition of how laser light is being produced by stimulated emission. First we take radiation as a feedback. Due to this feedback, stimulated emission will dominate, and all the photons produced will have same direction, same wavelength, and same coherency, high intensity, such that the light produced will be laser light. Thank you.